Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and I'm also a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I want to go over how to make an avoidant initiate. Okay. So, this is important because it actually is going to help them heal. Okay. So it doesn't mean that they're always initiating and you're never initiating, but it's not healthy that you're always the one initiating. And in the beginning of relationships with an avoidant, regardless of gender, okay, a lot of people think this is just for female avoidance. It's not. Male avoidants have this issue too. Female avoidants have it much worse, to be honest, but male avoidants do it as well, where in the beginning of the relationship, maybe they initiated, but towards the maybe the 6-month mark, they stop initiating, right? And for female avoidance, it's going to be quicker, or maybe they've never initiated at all. And this is tricky because with female avoidance, they will probably more likely than male avoidance always be the one who's less initiating, but that's typical of even secure couples where the female is less initiating. But female avoidance among all of the attachment styles, and I'm saying this as someone who used to be an avoidant, right? And I'm a female, right? I am saying this as a person who has changed, but female avoidants are just very passive, right? And I've tried to fix it and it is part of the way I am. Of course, I'm a lot better, but yes, female avoidants are so passive, dismissive avoidance especially, which is what I used to be, right? But it is important for their healing that they initiate a little bit, even in the beginning, just a little bit, but soon it should be much more equal because it's not healthy for a relationship where one person does all the work. It's just not, right? So we do need to get a way for avoidance to begin initiating. And you can do it on your own at first, where you use some of these techniques and they will actually start initiating. You can do some of that legwork and eventually they will also meet you, which means, yes, can you save a relationship where you're the only person coming into therapy or coming into a consultation call? Yes. In fact, that's what I do. And so if you guys are interested in that and you want to resolve the relationship you have, or at least figure out what's going on, that is pinned in the comments. But first, let's talk about why do they struggle with initiating? If it's not just female avoidance and also male avoidance do it, it's about their attachment style. So what's happening? Avoidants often avoid initiating contact, especially after like conflict or a breakup, actually, because they believe the decision has been made. And so they almost believe that whatever effort they do will not make a difference. And so sometimes if it's a fearful avoidant and it has nothing to do with a breakup or conflict, they might say, well, what's the point of texting this person? Because they probably don't even like me. A fearful avoidant may literally feel that way. A dismissive avoidant might not realize that that connection is required for you guys to remain in contact or remain in this relationship. A lot of dismissive avoidants, like I've had some cases where like they're like, yeah, I haven't talked to her in like a week, but we're still on for our date Saturday. And this is just an example, but it's very similar to what I've seen. And I will say, well, how does she feel? How does she know the date's on for Saturday? Did you tell her? Yeah, I told her last week. Okay, but have you like for this entire week and you haven't talked to her at all? Do you think it's possible that she thinks that you've ghosted her? And then he might say, oh, I never thought about that. Right? So some avoidants don't even realize how important initiation is. A lot of them, and I'm just being honest, they don't realize that the way that they think is not translating outside. They have not made it clear that they feel this way, they think this way, they are expecting this from you, and they're going to do A, B, and C. They haven't said anything. You have no clue. And it's really frustrating for you guys, because you're getting almost cheated out of a relationship that's actually there. It's just in their head, right? And so they struggle with emotional coping. And that's the reason why they prioritize covering their emotions and doing other things in their day because they're so focused on these things, right? And that's very important. I actually was responding to a commenter on my other channel where he mentioned that a lot of avoidance, they almost do very like mindless habits or like mindless hobbies, whereas secure individuals, they do hobbies because they're really enjoying themselves and they enjoy. And I agreed with him. Like it's very true what he said. He's correct about that. Most avoidants, a lot of their tasks and hobbies are very mindless. So they're not initiating and they're not contacting because they're doing those things all the time, right? And so the next point is also that they have a fear of vulnerability. And so sometimes initiating continuously can put them in a vulnerable position where they can fear they can almost, how do I explain this? Okay, if it's a fearful avoidant, they might fear that you're going to reject them. If it's a dismissive avoidant, they might fear that you're going to ask for it too much and they won't be able to give it to you, or they're afraid to be criticized, okay? They might even hesitate to express express themselves because they're afraid that you might expect more, even though that's not really true. And so what you can do is you can mention to them, I appreciate you reaching out. I just want you to know this is enough. And every now and again is fine for me, whatever your situation is, okay? The next one is I actually have comfort in solitude. Many avoidants find it easier to process things alone just because it's less complicated. And they don't the complexities of a relationship can be very heavy. And so it might make them too resistant. It might make them resistant to initiating, okay? And the next one is that they actually fear that if they do continuously initiate, that it might confirm that they might find more things out about you. I know this is a very fearful thought, but if they continue to initiate, they might learn more about you, to which maybe they will realize they don't want this relationship anymore, and they are afraid of that. And so the reality of it is they have to face that someday, one way or another. And so you will have to be vulnerable and open to them to some extent for them to see the real you so that they feel more safe. And so that's just why they don't initiate. Let's talk about what you can do, okay? The first one is you want to reduce criticism. Create a less critical environment and encourage an avoidant partner to try and initiate. You can say, I would appreciate if you could at least text me once a day. That is something that I would appreciate. And I really like when you text me. It's not by saying critically, you don't ever text me. I feel very confused. I feel very lost. They're very sensitive to criticism, okay? Very sensitive. The next one is offer praise. Reinforce any efforts. I really appreciate that you did that. That made a lot of sense to me. Thank you for initiating. These are very positive steps. I see so much effort. I see how much you do for us. Positive phrase. And I would recommend if you guys are deeper into your relationship, you want, a year or two plus, when you reinforce praise, add some form of commitment language in there. I appreciate your efforts for us. This step means so much for our relationship. I'm seeing the difference. It makes things so much smoother for the both of us. Don't you agree? You're adding that praise, but you're also allowing them to get a little more comfortable with the idea of your relationship. Because some avoidants, they can be in relationships for a very long time and they won't verbalize the meaning of that commitment, and you might not know it. So this will help them to get more comfortable and also model that behavior. The next one is provide space. Now, I want you guys to understand that space doesn't mean 3 days without texting, unless that is literally your dynamic, because I'm not going to judge you. If that is truly your dynamic, I respect that. But if it's not, and you're just thinking, okay, I should do that, that is not what I'm saying. All that I mean is built-in space. If you guys have an argument, give it a couple hours before reintroducing that topic again, or a couple days, depending on how heavy the argument is, okay? Maybe give moments where you guys are literally not seeing each other. So maybe you guys don't see each other every day, or you don't see each other every weekend. Or if it's like a long distance relationship, sometimes maybe don't FaceTime and just have a phone call. Just add some space every now and again so that they can feel that flexibility and they don't feel like their autonomy is being sacrificed, okay? The next one is both of you guys need to practice patience with one another. They're going to have to be patient with you. You're going to have to be patient with them. And the last one is you want to encourage communication. You should be open and honest and clear about your expectations, and you want to say the same thing. You can mention, I get that you need space. All that I ask is, can you just tell me when you need space? That is all I ask, and I promise I will give it to you, okay? And so these are some of the ways that you can help an avoidant to start initiating. I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.